Trying out Streamlabs. I'm just working on a new song in the studio, 10 minutes in. See if this works. One, two, mic test. What's going on, Just Jenny? We're just testing things out here. Streamlabs. What's going on, Ryan? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Got a little switcher set up. So this is a little draft in progress. I started this like 20 minutes ago, and I wanted to do some more studio streams. So been just doing the DJ streams behind me. So trying to mix it up, especially with all the copyright takedowns. So you'll probably see more of these. We're gonna test it out, do a little quick session. So I've kind of got the song in a loop, and I don't even know where it's headed right now, but I'm gonna throw some paint against the wall. And this is Ableton 11. So this is beta. All right. It's a little funky, little Wurlitzer. Let's do a little take on that. So let's see what we have. So the new thing in Ableton, you can do all these multiple comps. You can record vocals, multiple takes. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. It's I definitely want to have it be more interactive. So it's like when I'm DJing, it's a little less interactive for sure, because it's just like spinning plates, just making sure the transitions are good. So with this, I can be a little more back and forth. Change the quantization. Just start soloing some layers here. to have to solo those little bits just so I don't get sick of the same loop. It's easy to get stuck in that loop. Sidechain on that. There's only like a couple tracks playing in this. There's a couple of percussion things, a little loop, and just Wurlitzer. This is one bass layer from Trillion, from Omnisphere and Trillion together in one thing. So the program for sidechaining is, I'm using Volume Shaper in ShaperBox. I'll show you that. So I'm doing sidechaining on the bus, so it's ShaperBox 2. And what I'm doing is letting most of the signal get, like the low end kind of making that pump and leaving the high end a little more gentle, a little less sidechaining. And you can actually compress the high end on this, which is kind of nice. You can solo. So just be a little more selective, like what you're sidechaining more heavily, what's being left alone. It's a great plugin though. Even just sidechaining is just one part of that. You can what else can you do? I'll show you guys some crazy plugins. I got so many new ones. There's too many plugins. So you can add in all these other little modules. That's the sidechainer, but you can add in a bit crusher or a filter. Let's see what happens if we add in a filter. And you can drag them around, change the order. You never know what you're gonna get. Let's see. See how that sounds with everything on it. It's a little random. That's cool. It's kind of like a little happy accident. Maybe I'll put a little reverb. There's a new reverb in Ableton 11. Where is it? They moved everything around here. Hybrid reverb. So maybe I'll put a little reverb after that little filter effect. Let's go back to the bus. Okay, so now what does it need? This track's happening live in real time. No idea where it's headed, but I kind of like that little bit. So this is in G minor, and it's nice in the new Ableton. You can see everything in the scale. So you can set your scale. If you can see my mouse, maybe it's hard to see. You can set your scale there, and then make sure that everything you drop, it's going to be in key. It's really handy. So this is little vocal, little Cashmere sample. You got that, you got the bass. Got the Wurlitzer. The drums, pretty chunky drums. And then processing the drums was just the drum bus plugin, which is amazing. The Ableton stock one. Just good samples. Oliver sample pack, Nicky Romero, a couple good samples in there. Splice. So what does this need now? Maybe we do a breakdown, and sometimes when you spread out the arrangement a little bit, that the song tells you what it needs. So let's open this up a little. Oh, if you haven't seen it, BT has this crazy plugin. Hopefully this doesn't crash anything. Stutter Edit can add this sort of randomness to it. Let's see, it's on auto. Okay, turn it on. This might be a little too exotic, but let's see. So what I'll do is I'll try to get the performance down, like figure what the chords are with the hook and the melody, and then come in, chop it up after I've got the groove as well. I want to see what I can do to transform it a little bit, just to add a little texture. So this plugin's good for that. This really is dependent on the source, like what you're feeding into it. Might be too exotic for now, but I wanted to show you guys. It's a good plugin. All right, so we're in the breakdown. Every track I want to have some human element, so if it's not a full vocal, I want there to be a lead that feels human. Let's add a little more of a delay to that vocal. It sounds like there's a delay, but that's just the sidechain pushing against the reverb. So I love Echo Boy Jr. And I really like putting the delays before the reverbs. Just seems to work out better like that. Ping pong delay. Just a little more space. Okay. So already I can kind of tell, like, you know, there's only those 3 layers. So maybe I introduce a new element to taking the drums out. Maybe I bring in another bass layer on top, more of a mid-range bass, or a pad, maybe like a pad, something that there wouldn't be enough space in the drop to have. So I'm loving all this other Trillion stuff. So let's hear some sounds. Trillion just got a new update. to turn off the sidechain so we don't have to be competing with that. So let's automate that for the breakdown. All right, let's go back. Maybe there could be like a counterpoint melody or something in there. Let's try it. So yeah, this section I'm thinking we add some extra melodic dimension. Because the bass is the lead on this, so let's see what we can do to support it. Probably a higher lead. Okay, I'm gonna put a lower bass on there and then do like a counterpoint, like a higher one. That. Hard to decide between like the busy one and the more sparse one, but let's try the busy one for now. And let's get like a little upper lead layer, and this is going to be just throwing paint against the wall. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but that's what you got to do every time, every day. A bunch of junk. I'm going to show you the new bunch of junk. I'm going to just loop this and let's see if anything good comes out of this. So I'm going to use the new feature in Ableton to comp it. So it's just going to loop. It's going to record. I want to see what sticks. So it looks like everything got overwritten, but it's actually there. And there's my takes. So take lanes. And I can go in and just select them. What I want to appear in there. Just do that, kind of like in Logic and Pro Tools. Let me select all these, make sure they're quantized. I think this will do it. So it'll compile them all together, put all like your favorite takes together once you figure out what they are. Let's quantize those. So you would solo each one just to see which one you like. Oops. So I can solo each of these lanes. Any of those, so I'm going to just do that again. a better sound. So, you know, don't settle for a sound that's just okay. Let's keep browsing some of the new Trillion sounds. I think this was updated yesterday. Good. And I really have to play it through. I can't just put the melody in and toggle do the sounds. It just never works for me. Try to do like a little variation. This is where that scale feature comes in. Let's grab that scale. It's in G minor. I can say, oops, that last one. Put that groove back on that. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. It sounds like with the beat, so let's just duplicate all of this, bring that over, and let's just do that. I put the sidechain back on for that. Getting there. All right, so there's this cool sound I think that Don Diablo uses a lot. I don't know if he uses this from Omnisphere, but it's this very hexagon sound. So let's duplicate this track and let's listen to it's sort of like that trumpety sound. So I'm going to browse and find this other sound. It's called cornet, and it is part of regular Omnisphere. It's in the hardware library, which is an amazing library. If you don't have Omnisphere and you're making music, I recommend it. Keyscape, it's incredible. There it is. So you know this sound. You hear this all the time. So it's obviously high. So that's a nice layer. That kind of worked. Just sort of occupying more frequencies. I'll treat that other layer a little bit more. So I'm gonna go maybe like 10 more minutes, then wrap up. Gotta have a little wine. Like that sound needs a little more treatment. It's just a little soft. I mean, that's why I have it layered, but. Bum, bum, bum. I have to just hum it so I don't forget the melody that I'm hearing in these gaps. Oop, nope, I'll just keep going and try and tweak it and just try and better that last take. Little tweaks. Like that ending needs a little more tension. There's something like a note or two I could make better. But anyways, let's just treat this a little bit. Give it a little more grit. It's going through Ozone Exciter, which is great. It's not doing a ton to it. So I'm going to add, maybe we'll just use something simple like Saturator. So few elements happening that there's almost no EQing going on, which is kind of cool. It's that shaper box filter, it's the sidechain, it's moving things. So at this point, I'll probably come in and just make sure I'm EQing out some of the junk. Starting to get a little busy. So this is what happens. Like you start to layer and layer and layer, and you really want the arrangement to tell you what is the lead and what's, the arrangement is the mix down. So I have this, usually I have it pretty well organized. Like right now I have some of the leads are in the bass. So I would move those to my little lead bus that's up there. Maybe sidechain those a little differently. Maybe like a faster sidechain. Maybe. Get some of the bass in there. All right, I'm gonna wrap up in a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, I can see the chat. I've got my TV display up here, the studio display here, so I am at your service if you have any questions. What's happening? Yeah, so I might do more of these. I did a couple in the past, and things got crazy with the pandemic, and just doing the mix show. I'm gonna do some more like drone shoots out in the middle of nowhere, remote shoots, but I think more studio focused ones, because it's really hard to, you get those copyright mutes. Those tend to kind of break up the flow of the mixes in a bad way. So with this, nobody has copyright on this. I don't even have a copyright on this yet because I haven't even finished the song. So got to have your own content. It's very important. All right, so what was I going to do here? I'm going to make one arrangement tweak, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm a Morty's asking, how do you go about naming your tracks? Any ideas? That's a good question, because it either comes to me or it doesn't, and then it's a huge hassle. So if it's a song with lyrics, I take part of the chorus or like a key phrase that sounds interesting and distinct, but or like something conversational. But if it's a track that's instrumental like this, it's got to come from the subconscious somehow, and it can be tough. So I have to let the song incubate, and then I come back to it and say, okay, this is the mood I'm trying to get, or that's what I'm going for. So this is like a little more swingy, a little funkier than my usual stuff. Just flexing different styles, trying different methods. That's what you got to do. So it's like this is a draft today. I'll try to do one of these every day. Let's change that. Oh, the other crazy thing, there's nothing on the master right now. Probably should get that going. So just a little bit of compression. A little widening. I like this EQ. It's nice. Add a little more beef to it. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Sorry if I'm blasting you guys out. So the limiter. Oh, starting to slow things down. I'm going to leave that limiter off for now. So when I do these draft days, obviously I don't have time to do, it's no sense in polishing the atoms with the mix down until I've settled the concepts. But when I feel like I have something like this, it's good enough for a draft today, I'll get it to just sound loud enough, bounce it down, maybe let it incubate overnight, and come back to it, make some changes, and then move on. And then I'll flesh it out later. If I think I want to get a vocalist on it, I'll mute the leads, or I'll filter the leads. And I'll flesh the arrangement out so that it's a minute and a half maybe, and there's some room to work with. So I'll just start with a B, or like I won't spend a ton of time on the intro, things like that, but just spacing it out so there's room for someone to sing a top line, and then solo different combinations. Let's put delay compensation on. Will Benson's asking a good question about how do you settle on arrangement and bring it to completion without tweaking endlessly? Well, some people say that they never finish a song, they just sort of abandon it at some point. But what happens is you tweak it too much, then it mutates, so it turns into something different. So maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. A lot of times it ends up being worse, and you have to go back to your rough mix. So I'll bounce these daily mixes. I'll put the date in them. Just because I don't trust the file naming system. So I just know that this is the bounce on November 15th, 9:09 p.m. Just bounce it down, and then I can come back to that, and I can save the date into the file name itself of the session. Something very simple. But I name all these like concept 537. So that means I've done 537 drafts total. That's just a system I've kept, and I've definitely screwed it up sometimes. But to keep from tweaking it forever, you have to work quickly and commit to your ideas, work with some intention, and come back and kind of have that editor hat on. So you come back and say, this track, what's missing here? Like, why is this track boring? Or like this one is very loopy, this track. So I will probably come back to this and go, you hear it very differently when you come back with fresh ears. but you've got to let it sit on its own for a little bit before you tweak too much and start working on the pixels rather than like the big picture. You got to zoom out. That's really important. Really important thing to do though, if you're working on a track, you don't want to work on the window dressing and burn the song out in your ear. You hear it too many times and you're toast. Like you won't see the forest for the trees. So like with this, I'm not putting white noise in there. I'm not working about fills or transitions. I'm not worried about the intro or the outro. I'm just focusing on the meat of it, the composition. So the chord structure, the chord voicings, the leads, the bass. It sounds pretty full, you know? It's like, let's take a look here before I wrap up. What do we have? We have, it's not even a loop. There's a couple hi-hats. So let's hear. Let's go one by one. Kick. Nice layered clap. Center hat, propping it up. A little swung offset hi-hat. Kind of a dirty lead. Another layer. Wurlitzer chord progression. Okay, and then bass. Plus the lower layer, the other layer of the bass. And then a little vocal snippet. Okay, that's it, guys. Just a little test session. I'll probably do more of these. Wow, it's already been 40 minutes. That's crazy. So maybe it's a challenge. Maybe the challenge is do a song in an hour every session, something like that. So that's what I was thinking about doing. So thank you for joining me. It's my first time using Streamlabs for this. I always did OBS, so hopefully everything came through loud and clear. And you'll be able to watch this on Twitch. And this is just Twitch right now. So thanks for joining. Make sure to come by. Check me out on Wednesday. I do my live mix here, DJ set every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. PST. So thanks for coming by. I'll see you guys soon.